In this week's Pianodrop, we'll be featuring the singular character of flute fields noises by Ollie Dix, NAMMbience Analog Synth by Gianluca Piras, Manthey Klaviano by Michel Pedrazi, Bode Electric Bass Guitar by Spencer Oliphant, and NAMMbience by Hunter Rogerson. Flute Fields Noises by Ollie Dix. Recording beautiful, realistic samples is never an easy task for anyone, so why bother? This is my trusty clarinet I've had since age 7, and an Indian flute collected by my father whilst travelling there, sampled and blended in a variety of ways. Both instruments feature a harmonics patch, created by removing the fundamental from the sample, as well as 2 warps. NAMMbience Analog Synth by Gianluca Piras. This library is called NAMMbience Analog Synth because technically it comes from sampling an Arturia Mini Brute. This was my first analog synth. I have it from 2016 and I really love his character. Edgy and biting, and also quite unpredictable when you start playing with its internal feedback processors. Manthey Klaviano by Michel Pedrazi. This is our living room piano, a small spinet model named Klaviano, made in Berlin by the company Manthey in the 60s and 70s. It's an instrument I spotted in a friend's flat as I first came to the city, and it caught my imagination for its unusual design, its fancy rounded edges on the overall minimalistic shape. Surprisingly, it had also something to say in the sound compartment. Bode Electric Bass Guitar by Spencer Oliphant. These samples were created using a violin bow and a Fender Squier Jaguar bass. The result is a beautiful deep tone, full of grit and character. The harmonics are very present with this instrument, and they provide for a very rich sound. Using the drop-down selection, the instrument can be played in one of 2 modes, the looping samples mode and the natural decay mode. NAMMbience by Hunter Rogerson. My first ever trip to NAMM was a thrill and a shock. I couldn't believe how little one could do to escape the constant noise, but while the whole of it was an unrelenting roar, the individual parts were interesting, often beautiful. I returned on day 2 determined to turn this offensive barrage into something useful. This is the result. includes a single patch which houses low and high frequency atonal beds, short and long tonal sounds, scattered performative sounds mapped to the mod wheel, and raw and processed general NAMM floor ambience.